So you graduated high school, and then were you working before you graduated high school?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you working?
I went to Musselman, and I went from the 11th grade to the 12th grade. I passed from the 11th grade to the 12th grade, but I got a job. I was working all the way through the 12th grade, and I worked for a telephone company at that time, and I worked all through my 12th grade, and then when I graduated, they sold the telephone company that I was working. It was out of Bluefield, but I can't remember the name of the company. And they sold that telephone company to the C&P telephone company in Martinsburg. So when they sold it, I automatically had a job in Martinsburg at the telephone company. So that's where I went then.
Where was the office for when you first started for the telephone company?
In Inwood.
In Inwood. Okay.
There's a Napa store, or used to be a Napa store right there at the corner of 11 and 51. And the telephone company is still standing. It's a brick building sitting right beside it. It's still there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was wondering, when you were growing up, World War II started, right? How aware were you? Because newspapers and radio and things like that were pretty scarce for.
Okay, we, at that time where I was telling you Styles store was, you go under the bridge and you're up river. In 1942, my brother was drafted. My oldest brother was, well, not my oldest brother, but my second oldest brother was drafted into the war. And that, we lived there, and the river would freeze over at that time. And that spring, it was so cold that winter, the river froze over, and the ice started, I mean, at night you could hear the ice cracking. It would sound like a gun going off on the ice cracking. And that ice would float down the river, and that's when it took the bridge out at there, that bridge, because all the ice came down there and just got caught right there. And it washed our house away. We lost our house. Well, it wasn't our house, we rented it. But yeah, we washed the house away where we lived there in 1942. And I was like 6 years old.
Great. But nobody was in the house, hopefully.
No, but I can remember my dad and my older brother that we'd gotten, I guess they got everything out of the house and we went to live with my uncle. But I can remember my dad saying to my brother, come on, we've got to go down to the house. We've got to get the canned fruit out of the cellar. So that, so they went in the cellar in the boat and filled the boat up with all the canned fruit that they could get out before the house went down. Yeah, so, yeah.
It must have been terrifying. You try to get that out before the house goes away.
Right.
Great.
I did, so.
So where did your brother go in the war? The one who got drafted?
Whew. Well, I can remember when he went for his physical. They shipped him from Martinsburg to Roanoke for a physical. And he was supposed to go just for his physical and come back, but he never came back after the war was over. Yeah, they shipped him right over, and I don't know all the places. And we had one of the old, what was it called, the Philco radios with the battery and everything. And every evening, well, we weren't allowed as kids, we were not allowed to turn that radio on and listen because we'd run the battery down. But every evening, when Gabriel Heater came on, he was the announcer for His name was Gabriel, I can remember it, Gabriel Heater, and he announced all the war stuff that was going on, and my mother and father were right there at that radio, listening to see what they could find out where my brother was or what was going on. Yeah, So it was.
Do you know if he wrote letters? He was able to write letters back or anything?
I guess they did. I don't remember that. I know that was where I remember, but I remember when he came home. It was really bad. He must have seen a lot because he would get up at night and he would walk. He would walk for miles because he couldn't sleep. It was all in his head. Some nights he would get up and he would even get up and go down and get in bed with my mother and father. And because he couldn't sleep, it was just all there. And I know my mother walked with him for miles at a time when he came home from the war. Yeah.
What was his first name?
His name was Louis.
Louis. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, but he.
Did that ever go away, or did it stay with him?
Yeah, it stayed with him a lot. He was a pretty quiet guy. We're country music fans. My brother and my nephew, my two brothers, they all played guitars or mandolin or whatever, and my mother played harmonica. Mm-hmm. And on Sunday afternoon, evening, nothing, if we didn't have company, well, they'd all get out on the porch and they would all play and sing. We'd sing, and yep, that was a good time. Mm-hmm. My dad never played, he never played an instrument or whatever, but yeah.
Did he sing? Did anyone sing when everybody played?
We sang and everything, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. As my brother got older and everything, he would strum the guitar by himself. He'd be sitting somewhere and strumming the guitar and singing to himself and whatever. But he would sing real low. You couldn't, not right out. He would just sing, like singing to himself. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did he ever get married, Louis?
Yes, Louis got married. He got married when he came home. He married a lady with two children, and then he had a set of twins. He had a boy and a girl too. Mm-hmm.
Did he stay in the area, or did he move?
Then he went to Maryland, and he worked in Maryland Metals, I think. He worked over there, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But he liked to fish too. He loved to fish and hunt. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons why he got called into the service so quickly, is because he was a good marksman with a gun. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I guess you see a lot when you're called in to do that. Did he ever talk about it? What he had seen or anything?
No. No, I never, maybe he talked to my mom and dad about it or something, but I never heard him talk about how bad it was or whatever. I just knew that he just walked, and he would get so shook up sometimes at night. He would just didn't know, I guess, not what else to do. He'd just go down and crawl in bed with mom and pop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you drove in today to come here, what's the biggest difference you notice between from when you grew up to when you drive in? Does it seem familiar to you at all, or does it not?
Yeah, a lot of it is still. I guess what I notice more about the county, it's like no respect. Our county officials, some of our county officials are elected to take care of us, people, but they have their own agenda. And that bothers me a lot. And, but the schools are different. The schools are different. When we went to school, when I went to school, we weren't even allowed to wear pants, slacks. We had to wear, if it was terribly cold, my mother would put pants and jeans on us or whatever with our dress over top of it. And when we got to school, we changed the pants, you know. But I don't know, today it's, and I keep telling my kids, I grew up in the best years. We respected our parents, we respected each other. I mean, sometimes, like for Christmas, well, when we lived at home as a kid, we had kerosene lamps, and we had wood stoves, no coal stoves, wood stoves. And by dark, I mean, you had your bath behind the cook stove, and by dark, you were ready for bed, because the lights went out, the fires went out. We didn't have any fire till the next morning. We got up, my mother made a fire in the cook stove, and we'd run down the stairs or wherever we were, and get behind the cook stove and dress, ready for school. But it was hard, but it was good. I had a mother and a father that cared for me. Mm-hmm. And all of us, yes. We cared for each other.
How long did your daddy live?
My dad lived till he was 69. My mom lived, she was 58 when she passed away. Mm-hmm. So,
what was their relationship like? Did they get along? Did they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they got along fine, and I was going to tell you, like Christmas. Mm-hmm. That was the morning, Christmas morning. Well, the night before Christmas Eve, to bed. You kids go to bed. They would put up the Christmas tree and put whatever ornaments it could afford. And us kids, my pop would get up the next morning, build a fire in the stove down there, and we'd come down around to see the Christmas tree, and we would get a vegetable bowl, maybe with what they called chocolate drops. It was just cream inside was covered with chocolate, some nuts, maybe an orange or tangerine. Most of the time, no toys, no gifts or anything, but we were lucky to do that. Mm-hmm. So, but it was, we were tickled, to come down and see the tree and Christmas and everything. And, it really, it was just normal. I mean, that was what life was like. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when, in those years, would you be able to listen to music on the radio, or how did you listen to music if they liked music?
Well, after the war and everything was over, and my brother was home, we had a radio, and then we could listen to music and all. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then I'm still a country music fan. I listen to most, and this rap stuff and all that stuff to me is a bunch of stuff.
So who did you like growing up, country music wise?
Oh, I don't know. I liked George Jones and Merle Haggard and all those, and and I can remember we used to go to the Orchard Inn. You know where what's not called, that's called a Rainbow Inn now. Did they tear it down? They tore it down. Yeah. But when I was about 15, but I was not allowed to go unless my mother went with me. And we went to the Orchard Inn on a Saturday night or whatever. And but
can you remember who you saw there? Any of the musicians?
No, don't remember. I think one time I saw Patsy Cline there, yeah. But otherwise, I don't remember who it's all there. But inevitably, no matter when, the people from Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia, there was always a fight. Always a fight. After the band quit and everybody was going home, there was always a fight.
At the orchard, there's always a fight.
Because the orchard inn.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any older family photos or anything?
I've pictures of my mom and dad, and my brother. I have a picture of my brother when he was in service with his uniform and all. Yeah.
We'd like to be able to copy some of those because as we do the talk,
Okay.
I'd like to be able to show some of those photographs.
All right.
So maybe Jocelyn can.
Okay. My dad was a twin.
Hmm.
And he had 3 sisters, and but his mom died, I think, when he was 13, I think. And he went to live with his sister. He went to live with one sister, and his brother went to live with another sister. They were on a farm. Yeah, so.
Was that where were they living? In Maryland? Where was he born?
West Virginia.
Oh, he was
I
born
think.
in West Virginia.
Yeah, he was born in Clark County.
Oh, in Virginia.
In Virginia, but I think he was raised till he was able enough to get out and go by the Drish, Jim Drish and Lou Drish, and that was his sister's husband. And they're from farmers from here.
Okay, but he was a Gaynor. Right? And your father's name was
James.
James.
Everybody knew him as Jim.
Jim. Okay.
Jimmy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite different today. It's I hear these kids speak to their mother and father, and I could pick them up and shake them. If I would, my dad. Only thing, my dad, if we were doing something we shouldn't have been doing, or my dad didn't approve, all I had to do was look over at us, and we knew. You don't do that. We were brought up to be seen and not heard. And today, the kids took over the family instead of the mother and father taking over. That is a thing that I talk to my family about it all the time, but it's a different time, it's a different world. But it's not always better.
That's right. It is different though. Oh, you were talking about before about the brass works. So, yeah, so when did you start working for the brass company?
Oh,